Hello, my name's Dominic Fonte with Cutler Real Estate, and today I have the honor to introduce Mike Ferguson, who's a certified residential appraisal. Now, in keeping with the 6 professionals that you'll usually deal with when you have a real estate transaction, I wanted to dive into the real estate appraisal because over the last few years, as you know, we had appraisal gaps and all kinds of crazy things I've never seen in my 35 years. So let's use an example. So if I bought a house in North Canton, sure, and the buyer and seller agree at $250, and I go to the lender, and the lender says, okay, we have to get an appraisal, and lo and behold, you're the appraiser. Mm-hmm. So what is it that you typically have to do when you come out? So explain to the consumer, when you come out to their house, what is it you're doing?
Well, we're going to take measurements, photos. In most cases, almost all cases, you're going to do photos.
Okay.
And then same with the measuring. And then you're going to note surface conditions, surface materials. Ideally, we'll get to talk to someone, get some more info we may not see.
Right.
And then go over updates, remodels, stuff like that. And
is it wise for the homeowner to leave a list on the table, kitchen table, of maybe recent improvements or things like that?
Absolutely, yes. I love that. That makes it much easier.
So then what I'm waiting for is usually like how long after you do the appraisal do I hear or the customers hear? Like a week or so or what?
It all depends. It depends what the assignment is, how much there is going on. Ideally, I like to keep my turn times quick. I'm sure that varies from appraiser to appraiser.
What ballpark? What would your turn times be?
Let's say I look at something on Monday. I'd like to have it sent in by Thursday at the latest.
That's pretty impressive. Usually it's 10 days, so 4 to 5 days is pretty impressive. So one of the things also you hear is like, okay, so someone is buying a home with a conventional loan. Sometimes you hear FHA loan. Sometimes you hear VA loan. So are you certified in the FHA, VA, and conventional?
I don't do VA, but yeah, FHA.
Okay, so this is what I find from my 35 years experience. So on an FHA, a lot of times, as a certified appraiser, right? You have to look at certain things. Now, you're not a home inspector,
no,
but you're looking maybe for a red flag or a safety thing. Like, just name a couple things that might pop up on an FHA that you have to kind of watch for.
Sure. FHA sticklers on peeling paint.
Because of why?
For certain ages, for lead-based paint issues. If you see a shattered window, shards of glass, somebody could hurt themselves on.
Handrail, maybe?
Handrails, yeah, certain heights, and, just anything that I look at it like, could someone hurt themselves doing that? Is something off,
And if that happens, then when the report comes back, so if it's sold for $250, it would be nice if it appraised for $250. Is that it? Would you be using your professional opinion, knowing that $250 is the target? Or you have to do it a different way? Like, how do you figure out value, I guess?
Mostly comp driven. There are a couple other approaches you can use.
Like if I have improvements made to the house?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Improvements, that's a major factor of value. Size, age, the list goes on and on. It's all in an appraisal report gridded out.
Okay.
And you look for comps that are the most similar and go from there.
Is there a time frame that ideally, like if there's a sale in the last month or two or 6 months, a year, what?
Ideally, you're going to be able to stay within the last 3 months, 90 days. But yeah, you go back up to a year and even beyond if you need to, as long as you explain yourself.
So you have to explain it. So as a consumer buying a home, and let's say you buy it for $250, and unfortunately the appraisal comes back at $240. So obviously I'm frustrated because now I got a problem because the appraisal's $10,000 different.
Sure.
So in order for that transaction to continue down the path, we have to try to contest the appraisal if we believe it's worth $250. Because think of it like this: if a buyer's willing to pay $250, a seller's willing to accept $250, and now the appraiser's at $240, now I'm like, wait, did he miss something? Sure. So what happens is if that happens, you got to go through the channels. So that you would reach out to the lender and supply some comps. The comp then would get sent over to you. That's the chain of command.
Yep.
And then if that happens, is it possible you missed something?
Sure, it's always possible. We'll break down whatever you send over and see if it makes sense. Go from there.
Have you ever had that happen and had to make an adjustment?
Yes. Most of the time I do my due diligence, so I feel like the comps that I use are the best to support whatever opinion or value I give.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so so the appraisal value, so the sale price is really what the lender wants to see if it's possible. The sale price on the purchase agreement, that it has to at least meet that value. Is that typically how it works?
I go into it trying to get my best opinion
Okay.
of value, and based on the comps we got.
Yeah. So one of the things I get also a lot is that, well, we did all these improvements. Do we get value for that? Because like sometimes like when the comps are hard to come by, I see there's always pluses and minuses I
Right.
see on the form, which is foreign to most people, but those are important things. So that's why I think as a seller, it's super important to put that list on the table to make it easier for the appraiser to take that away with them. And so this is just a little segment to give you the idea of what the appraisers have to do. And that's one of the 6 professionals, which we have this whole series we're wrapping up. And I want to say thanks, Mike, for coming in today and just sharing a little bit. I always say an informed decision maker is a happy decision maker. So I hope you enjoy this segment. And if you had a question about an appraisal or just trying to understand things, Mike's available by email. Mike, how would they reach you if they have a question?
appraisalsferguson@gmail.com.
So, and my number, if you have any questions regarding real estate in general, is you can email me at Dominic at dominicfonte.com. Of course, you can call or text 330-418-1535. And we have more than 400 5-star reviews at dominicfonte.com.